A big warm welcome from Drew. I'm going to be your guide today in learning more about Fair Deal, the interactive online card game. I'm very happy to be here to show you and to help you and guide you through the next few minutes. Now, you don't have to watch the entire movie clip as it goes on for about 20 minutes that shows an entire game, so you don't need to, as I said, watch the entire thing. But there's more than 150 different cards with important themes that are linked to world hunger. An engaging sort of effort, but the difficulty that we had in creating this tool was that it was help critical thinking, help the student, assist with learning, easy to use, but not feel too quote unquote schoolish, and more fun and edutainment. Um, the game is supposed to challenge and engage people in order to help precipitate change and awareness with respect, to world hunger. So it's in our hopes that this is a positive influence and an effort to help individuals learn more about world hunger and the impacts and the factors and how we can fight food insecurity all over the planet for our future and for our children's future. Click the play button and log in and whatnot. I have to go over the object of the game. So through the lens of a world hunger specialist, you must problem solve and strategically use the cards that you're dealt in order to overcome the actions of your online opponent. The winner is the player with the most health and the most resources within a 30-minute time limit. So we'll also mention that when you do go in and you click on the instructions and you do wish to watch this video or read the instructions, that you have to turn off your pop-up blockers or accept the website in order to get the pop-up and view the PDF or the video. I'm going to show you, and we're going to go back and forth and hopefully engage you this way. You'll come here, you'll put your first name, and then the section that you'll want to select is 1, and for now just select group 1. Before you click the login button, you'll see that the play button's grayed out, and that's proper. But I want to show you the cards that you're going to be looking at in order for you to sort of better understand the game. And basically, as I said, it's an opponent against an opponent sort of thing. So you'll see a set of cards above you, which are your opponents, and your cards will be dealt underneath. It's kind of like almost a game of war in a sense. And each of the cards, there's 3 types of cards: a character, a resource, and an environmental card. So the resource card, as we looked in the middle here, it's the main currency. You want to gain resources, because in gaining the resources will allow you to play the other cards, the character and the environmental cards. So the environmental cards are the variables that act on top of the characters. So the characters are catalysts to what goes on. So you'll see here in this instance, farmer, a very positive influence to world hunger, gains 1 additional resource. So when this card is played, you'll gain 1 additional resource in your quote-unquote hopper. And we'll show you that in a second. But in order to play this card, you need to expend or use up 2 of the resources that are in in the hopper of your resources. In this, the environmental will cost you 3 and allow you to draw 2 cards. And you'll notice the difference between our environmental, resource, and character are the environmental cards. They'll have sort of a little lightning bolt at the bottom left-hand corner. Every card will have a name to it, a little graphic, as well as the purpose of the card there. And then the card cost. So playing that card, how much that card is going to impact the resources that you've currently stored up. And then the character card, you'll see here that's 2. There's a green sort of part in this title card. That's a positive sort of thing, and you can just look by the graphic itself that it's positive, and gaining 1 additional resource. Now, the health of this character is 1, so you'll see that by the shield at the bottom right-hand corner. And when you are going against or challenging your opponent, and you'll see that it has 1 sort of almost attack point, or able to inflict that much against your opponent or an opponent's character card. And that's denoted there by the crossed sort of swords or sabers. So again, character's a catalyst. The resource is what you want to gain to be able to play your other cards. And the environmental card is a variable, and everything is sort of randomized too. When you're dealt the cards, just like if you're playing any sort of board game, or any card game with friends, when you're dealing it from the deck, it's all random. So the cards that you receive are also randomized by the game itself. So let's go back to our fair deal. We're going to now log in, see what the game looks like, and then go from there. But click the play button and we'll engage. So it's searching for an opponent, and when this engages here like this, this lets me know and lets the other player know that it's playing against me. It's a blind way of playing because we don't know who I'm playing against, but the game is in motion. So something has happened here. It says play a resource card to gain resources. It's the opponent's turn. So and I'll go first. So I've played one card. My resources have gone up here. You'll notice my health is 30, which is full. You'll notice the card time, the game timer is 30, and the turn timer that allows me to play it's coming down. So I only have one resource. I can't play this card, so I can't play another resource card. You can only play one per turn. Let's end my turn, and that lets the other player know that I'm done. So it's now my opponent's turn. So my opponent's going to play a card. So the opponent played a resource and played the soldier card. Now, so it's basically his or her side against my side. So me, I'm sort of the puppet master, if you will, the NGO, the big chief organizer of my side. So when this player plays a card, they have to wait one turn to be able to activate it. And to activate and try to hurt my side, they'll hit this sort of shield card. But right now they can't. So what I need to do is block that. So I've got one resource. I can add a resource. I can add a resource to this, and it says that I've got 2 resources. Now I see that this is 3 resources in order for me to block that, and I don't have enough. So look at this. How fortuitous. I've got 2 here because I've got 2 resources, so we check that. And it's a displacement card. So I can return a character to its owner's hand. I'm going to play that on top, and it returns it. So now I've just saved my bacon. So again, I don't have any health issues, but now it's time for me to, I think I've already played my resource card, so I can't play another one. I've got to end my turn. So as you see here, we're automatically dealt cards based on what we have in our hand and based on the turn. So the other individual has to play a card. If they don't have a resource card in order to play, they have to end their turn. So they haven't played a card, their resources haven't gone up, so that means to me that they didn't have any resources cards to play. So I'm adding that up. Aha! I now have 3 resources built up. This takes 3 resources. It's a fighter for food security, which is a good positive card. I'm going to play it there. So see how it's gone gray like this? That tells me I can't attack, or I can't challenge this side by clicking this button as of yet, because it needs to wait 1 full turn. So I've already played my resource card, so I can't play anything else. So I'm just burning down the timer. Let's end my turn. That says waiting for opponent to end the turn. So the opponent is now strategically trying to figure out what he or she can do. So if they have a resource card, they should play that to increase their resources, or they need to block my card and put a card right here. They'll play that, or they might not have a play at all. So they didn't have a play. Ha-ha! So I have 3 resources still left, which is kind of good. So let's add a resource. Okay. If I hit this, it's going to strike this side and it's going to take off a health, but I've still got 1 more play. Let's add this to there. Now now it's gone gray. I can play it the next turn. So next turn, I'm going to use this to attack or to challenge their side. So right now, end the turn. So I'm trying to strategically look and figure out what the cards they have as well. Their health hasn't gone up. Their resources haven't gone up again. So that means that they haven't been dealt another resource card. So that's bad luck. So again, like the real world, gaining resources can happen or not happen based on environmental factors, weather, all kinds of things. But he might or she might have a card to play. So They exhausted their one resource card, and it took it into play. So now they can't play right now, but they need to end their turn, and this will allow me to now attack or to challenge their side. Let's increase our resource first, and then challenge. So this card will challenge this one. This card will challenge nothing, so it'll attack the back row, which will decrease the health of the user. Let's do it. One, disappeared. So now I've got a clean board again, and I've taken off, because see, the fighter of food security, the aid worker, can challenge 3 health. So I've taken off 3 health. So if the game were to actually expire here and the game timer to actually go down to 0, I would win the game, because I have more resources and more health than my opponent. So my turn timer is almost over. Let's end it, and then I need to gain another card. Oof. So if I don't have the way you get dealt more cards is if you don't have a move to make, or if you have a card that allows you to pick up or be given one or more cards. And again, that's just random or luck based. So wow. So my opponent had a card that made my card return to its owner's hand, which is me. So I now have stored up 5 resources. So I can play this corrupt official card, or I can play the fighter of food security. Now, my opponent finished going, so was able to make a move, so I was dealt another card. And as you can see here, it's an extremist card. Deal 4 damage to all characters. So that would include my character as well, because it's an extremist and things are very randomized. Alright, so I have the choice of sending this one. Create harmful weather and deal 2 damage to an enemy character. Or a food, I'm going to put this one back into play. It's going to put it up there. It's going to decrease 3 resources. And again, I'm in an open laneway to effectively deal challenged health to the back row to my opponent. So I'm going to end my turn here, or I can do my soldier. I'm going to do my soldier. So I've taken off 26 and end turn. Okay. There we go. Let's, so now my opponent has put up a block against my other card, my soldier card, and it cost him, or cost her, 2 resources. So my opponent is out of resources currently, but I have 2 out of 5 resources. So I could either clear the board, or I could, I don't have any resource cards to play. So I really don't have a play in motion. Or I could, if I attack this card, it'll remove it from play. So I can do that right now. Or it's still the other individual's turn. Oh, look at this. Good. So I can play. It'll cost me 3, and I get more cards. So I can add my resource card, and I can't add a second one. You can only add 1 per turn. And I want to end my turn. So we can see right now my health is 30, my opponent's health is 26. I'm winning, and I also have more resources. So once that's done, my opponent just attacked me and challenged my other card, and they negated each other, so it was removed from both sides. So once his turn's over, or her turn's over, I can, I was just dealt another resource card, so I can lay this. I can't lead another one because I can only, but you can see, wow. Now, I don't have any character cards on the field of play at all, on my line at all. So we can see that this extremist card is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resources to use. So I'm going to put that up there, and I'm going to deal 4 damage to every card. So there, boom. Done. And I'm going to, and I've already played my resource card, so I'm going to end my turn. And see how it's still gray? That means that I cannot challenge his side to the end line or another card until my opponent's turn is over. And it's what is exciting about this is it's strategy, but there are tons of cards, and allows the player, the viewer, the student to be engaged and to read and learn more about the different impacts or the different factors that affect world hunger, positively or negatively. But there's a ton of them, and in the deck, I think there's a deck of about 150 different cards. You'll see 150 different types of factors in cards, whether they be as you see here, which my opponent just um, was uses resources, but effectively took out all of my cards. So I want to add a resource to gain more resources, and I can now, as you could see, my opponent made the extremist character card go back to my hand. I'm going to play the corrupt official. No, I'm going to, I'm going to play the extremist again. Put it there. You can put it anywhere. But I dealt 4 damage to myself. So I was out of health for that card because the extremist used it on himself. So it was effectively removed itself from the playing field. So that wasn't the smartest move. So I want to end my turn before the timer runs out. And as you can see here, it's my opponent's turn. So my opponent has just used a resource card and used up a resource card, and played another card against my line. So I want to add a resource card once the turn is over. Now this is going to happen for 30 minutes. When the 30 minutes is up, the game will automatically calculate the most resources and the most health, and then give a winner based on those sort of factors. So this war will remove all characters from the board, but because I have so many resources, and this corrupt official will only take 3 resources to play, I'm going to play it. You can play it anywhere because the line is open. There's no cards challenging this card. So because it's gray, I can't play this card. I'm going to end this card's turn. So now my opponent played a resource card because he or she's resources went up. Now, hopefully they have a card that they can play against this card here, which they did. So it was a draw a card. It was a person with a food insecurity. So they were given another card from the random hand or the random kitty. And they ended their turn. I was given another card. So I can attack this card, which will hopefully knock that individual out, but end my turn. So I want to play 1 card and then attack. Negates both of them. I need to end my turn to keep my partner from waiting, or my opponent from waiting. So you can see the resources have gone up. So my opponent has played a resource card and has challenged this card. It took him or her 2 resources to play, which came off, and it was drawn a card. They were given another card. So they need to end their turn, and it'll allow me to play mine. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to remove all the characters from the board. And see the environmental card? You'll notice that it has a little lightning bolt in the orange. You play that on top of another card. And it removed them all. So I've got 1 card left. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's very engaging. It can be fast-paced once you have a feel to the board and how the game's played and how your opponent is sort of playing as well. So game can go by pretty quickly, and the health can diminish. I want to end my turn and allow the opponent to play. We'll play a couple more hands, and then we'll leave it. So it's been kind of a fun, exciting play. The extremist did 4 damage to everything on the board. Now I didn't have anything on the board, so the extremist actually did damage to his or herself as well. He wants to end his turn or her turn, and it allows me to pick that card. So it removes all characters from the board, but it won't allow me to play this. So I'm going to do this, but it's not a smart move, but you'll see why. And I'm just going to hit end. I can play this card too, which would be smart because I can go against that. So, oh, not to the next turn. But now I've blocked the extremist card from doing any damage to my side. So end turn, end turn. So the opponent should play a resource card, but just did damage because it could. So it did 3 and 3. So I have 4 health on this card. It did 3 health, so I only have 1 health left in this card. Oh, return. Oh, so now it looks like this laneway is open, and my opponent's extremist card could do damage to the back end, to my sort of government, if you will. This is going to be a block, but I can block this right here. I can't do anything now, but I'm just going to end my turn. There. You can see that now it's wide open. So now I've got to get back in here. So once my opponent ends his turn or her turn, just played a resource card. Here she has 9 resources now. Oh, and they've lined it all up. It doesn't look good. Ooh, now I've got to block twice. So once my opponent ends his turn or her turn, you'll see that the war card, I'm going to remove all the characters from the board. Bam! See ya. And I've got a couple more extremist cards. Again, this is all randomized. And we have only a couple cards left and about 14 minutes left. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sort of a fast and quick version of how the game is played. There's also an online PDF which sort of slows down what I've talked about and allows you almost frame by frame. You can do that as well by pausing and replaying this video again and again to sort of see how things work. But the PDF will go over the instructions with you step by step as well, outlining what the cards do and how the game is played. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you get engaged as much as it was fun for playing with my opponent and with you. Again, this is a new way of sort of learning edutainment, if you will, but it's been a lot of fun. So I hope you have fun too, and take care, and all the best.